Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode. I'm David, and today we're gonna be doing the 2-3-5 and the 3-2-5. So let's start off with a quote, because this one is for the life path 5, but I'm doing it a little bit more zoomed in on the numbers that come before that as well in your chart. So usually you add everything up to one number, but here we stopped 2 numbers before that so that we can also look at those 2 numbers. So some people, so this one does not have that confusion, but some people told me like, oh yeah, I was also born at 9-11 or something. I'm like, yeah, that's not what I meant. But I see how that can be confusing if you're not in the material as I am. So yeah, it's good to see it from other vantage points as well, so I can get those things out. So I'll try to be more. I'll try to keep that in mind. So you are a 3-2-5 or a 2-3-5, or you are somebody that know somebody and you're looking up their number, or you're just really interested and you want to see everything and you want to know everything. Either way, the 5 is freedom and discipline, the 2 is cooperation and balance, and the 3 is expression and sensitivity. And what's fun for me is that I know people that have these numbers, and sometimes you have to think, oh, it was the 3 again. But I don't have to think what was the 3 again. I have to think who was the 3 again. And the 3 is my girlfriend. So what she does, it maps on this. So it's fun to do these things and to and this helps to make it easier on me. So let's start with that quote that I promised. Those on the 3-2-5 or 2-3-5 life path are here to work through issues related to independence, emotional honesty, and cooperation. Finally, experiencing freedom through discipline and depth of experience. All right, so already in this, it says a lot. The independence is from the 5. The 5 wants to be independent. It wants to have freedom. And it can also be a downfall if they're not doing it correctly. But what's fun here is that you also have the 2 in your chart. And the 2 is cooperation. So independence and cooperation, they don't really go together. So let's see how this works out for this particular type. Yeah, so you're gaining the freedom through the discipline. And this is, if you've watched the 5 video, so I recommend if you are this type, watch the 5 video, the 3 and the 2 video. Those, and I will explain a lot there as well. Because right now I'm more going into this specific type, so that I can keep the videos a bit shorter as well. In the beginning I would just put everything together and then videos would be 40 or 50 minutes long. And now they're more cut up into smaller pieces, so you can digest it better. Yeah, so you are a 5, and discipline is one of your challenges. And I'm trying to think of another example, because I like to give multiple examples on this. Yeah, it could be really simple. Like, you have a piece of paper, use your imagination to create the best picture on there, and you can use anything as long as it's on that piece of paper. But you can get whatever. You can get pencils, you can get paint, you can get clay. As long as it's on the paper and it stays on the paper, you can go as free as you really want. And that's something that really helps your type, the type 5. And you really have to think, you really need a little bit of limitation and constraints to really express that freedom in the best way possible. If there are no limitations, you will not be tethered at all, and you will kind of like fly away. yeah, I think this is the most flyaway type that there is, the 5, because you are the freedom type. And if something is interesting over there, you go over there. And if there's something interesting over there, you go over there. And you are somebody that really enjoys life. You really go with whatever you think in that particular instance is the best thing to do and the most exciting thing to do, something that gives you energy. That's where you differ from other numbers. And here, for you, this is a little bit different because you, I think you, well, I don't think, I know that you are really good at finding those new adventures and those new experiences. And you in particular also drag other people with you because you love to be around other people. You are really good at expressing yourself. So if you work everything in the positive, in your light side, you will... well, the first image that comes up to me, you might be someone that actually organizes festivals. You create that festival. You go to festivals. You go with other people. And if there's like 15 stages in that festival, you will be all over the place. You will be, you're curious to see what other stages are there, but you do want to have the whole group there. There's a little bit of a distinction here. So the 3-2-5 has a little bit more of the cooperation and a little less of the expressing yourself. And the other one is the other way around. So that one is better at expressing and is a little bit less with the cooperation. So there's a slight difference, but both these types are pretty similar, and that's why I wanted to do it just in one video. Yeah, this is a nice one because you teach people with, well, by example. So you are a doer. You do stuff. You're not the thinker. You're not the dreamer. Well, you are the dreamer as well, but you're like applying your dreams. So you're more the doer. You have a really vivid imagination, and you are very quick. Your brain is wired really rapidly, and this is because you are a 5. So this makes you like razor edge sharp in conversations, but also in understanding things. And for you, it's if you're not interested in things, you won't even hear it. You won't even register it. But if it does excite you, and if you are interested in things, you are like that sponge that just soaks up all the information on that topic and on that excitement. But you usually don't go as deep. So you might go, you're like this sponge, and once your sponge is full, for example, I'm an 11. It works a little bit different for me. So that sponge, I kind of like rinse. What do you call that? I'll clear the sponge again, and then I'll soak up again, and I'll soak up again, and I'll soak up again until I get to the point where I want everything I want to know. And for me, at some point, I know, okay, this is what I want to know. I don't want to go any deeper than this. I think the 5s are in general a little bit more shallow because their attention span is a little bit different, because it has to be exciting, and as soon as some excitement fleets, it kind of subsides, then they can easily go to the next exciting thing, and the next and the next. And that's a little bit different for the other types. So you can really within a short amount of time, you will know, let's say, so much information about certain topics that you can already seem like you're an expert in this. You're already an expert because you know a lot more than the normal person. But if you would put you next to an expert, you would see that you are actually not an expert because you are not going as deeply as the expert. But that doesn't matter, because that's not what you're here to do. That's not your... Well, first off, I think we are all here to really become, and some might even say stay, your true authentic self. So it's the whole thing of know thyself. It's you're here to know who you really are and to share your light with the world. So I think that's important for everyone. And for you, your light is very bright. I would say you're like, like at these building sites, they have these bright lights that really blind you, that are really, really bright. I think, in how I see it, you're one of those lights. You're the brightest of the lights, but also you're really pinpointing that light. So you are more. If you turn away the light, the other side is dark. So people that are in your vicinity and that get your attention, they're in that spotlight and they feel it and they love it. But once you turn away from them, they really feel this as well. And I'm not sure if you notice this as well, because maybe other people can feel like you are neglecting them, but that's not the way you are wired. And this took me a while to get used to as well, because a friend of mine works a lot from his 5. And when he's there, like your whole life goes like up a gear. Let's say I'm in 3rd gear right now. It goes up into 4th gear and sometimes goes up into 5th gear. But then when he's not paying attention to me anymore, but he's off in the wild and doing other stuff, you go back to your 3rd gear again, and you you can miss that energy and that just that way of being together. So you might actually have some kind of exciting and maybe even a little bit addictive energy to others. And to me, it's just I'm used to it now, so I enjoy the times when it is like that, and I also enjoy it when it's not like that. It's not my energy, but I'm an 11, so I'm a double 1, so I'm really sensitive to these kinds of things, to energy. But for you, you might not notice this as much, because you're on the other end of this. So there are also some negative sides to being a 3-2-5 or 2-3-5. So one we kind of discussed already was the discipline part of the 5. The 3 has the sensitivity. You're really good at expressing yourself, but that sensitivity can really get the better of you. And this is something that you have to work through. So don't take things as personal. And I know this is easier said than done, but it's one of your struggles. The 2 has a fun one as well, and it's called balance. And what we mean by balance here is mostly about the balance of giving and receiving, and you can see this in a ton of ways, because and each way is actually correct. So like giving or receiving your energy, it can be money, it can be your time, it can be your focus, it can be anything. And once this goes over a certain threshold where you are giving more than you are getting back, you will go into resentment. So if you've ever gone into resentment, because of this, and now you know this is because of your type 2 energy that you also have. The best way to counter this is to and this should actually be easier for you than for the actual 2. You have a 3 in your chart, and the 3 makes you able to communicate really well with others. So once you have something that is not, kind of starts to gnaw at you, that it's not something that you like, so you feel like, okay, but now I've been giving too much. Let's give an example of money. So you're with a certain friend, and every time you go out or you do something, you always pay a little bit more than that person, and at first it doesn't really faze you. It's okay, you have plenty, it's like 60-40, it doesn't matter. Over time this can slowly go to the same number, but let's say that the other one just got this really great job and you aren't making any money at this point, so you lost your job or whatever, it doesn't really matter. So there's a big difference in the money coming in for the other and the money coming in for you, and now you're still paying more than the other, and it starts to get kind of in your head and you're feeling it and it doesn't feel good, but because you have been doing this for so long, you're not actually discussing it with the other person, but you are not saying anything. You are, every time you're together, this is on the forefront of your mind, and every time you pay another bill, you're like, here we go again, and it starts building up and building up and building up. At some point, and this is, you have to understand, this is you. This has nothing to do with the other person. At some point you explode. You're like, okay, I'm sick and tired of me always paying more, and the other, it could actually be that the other is not really paying attention to this and wasn't really aware of it. And even if they were, you should have said something when it kind of felt like the balance was off. And if the balance is off and you still feel good about it, you don't need to mention it because it's fine. But as soon as you feel that it is slightly skewed towards the negative, you should already, and this is the easy part for you, you should already discuss it. And this is, your 3 energy should make this easier for you. If your 3 is working in the positive, if it's working in the negative, then it might not go as well. But in general, it should be easier for you than any other type that has a 2 in it. Because like I said, I'm an 11, and an 11, 1 plus 1 equals 2. So I also have this within me, but well, I'm a 3-8-11, but let's say a 2-9-11 also has the 2 multiple times, but doesn't have the 3. So that makes it a bit harder. So you have a sensitive body. You tend to have a slim body and a fast metabolism. And the funny thing is that this actually reflects your life. And this is with all the types. If you think about it, let's say if it's a type 4 and it's foundation, you look at the word foundation and you think of the body and you think, okay, foundation, okay, so it's like a really strong, grounded body, and that's how it works. And here you are like you're somebody that has a really fast pace of life, so your body has a fast metabolism. If you have a little bit of a bigger body, it does not slow you down. You use that to your advantage. It's so fun how this works in numerology, and I love how this all fits together. So you do have a sensitive body, and that's also correct because well, you also have the 3, and the 3 has expression and sensitivity. So you can thank the 3 for this. Yeah, your throat area. So this is also of the from the 3, the type 3. You need to, like I said in other videos as well, but let's say it again. If you are a 3 and it's 3, it's expression and sensitivity. Expression is what you're best at. The sensitivity is your downfall for what you are best at. So if you are not expressing yourself, you will have issues with not expressing yourself. So if you're not expressing yourself in your body, in your health, this will express itself as, let's say, a sore throat or angina or whatever it may be. It can be just a sore throat, it can be like an infection, it can be anything, but it shows the state of your health and what you are doing and what you are not doing. Yeah, so as for addictions, you are someone who, well, we kind of said that already with the whole freedom part, you and the adventure part. Drugs and alcohol can give you this sort of adventure. The thing is here, you really do not need this. Like I know that it's fun, and I know that it's something that can be really fun to do. I'm not saying you should do it, by the way, but because usually the most types I'm saying you should not do this at all. I think one type had that the psychedelic drugs were actually good. I'm not sure which one that was, but for you do not need this in this way, shape, or form. Just like that, you don't need to watch a lot of TV shows that give you the sense of adventure. You are kind of like adventure in human form. So you don't need these things. And drugs can really enslave you. And it's especially this word because your biggest thing in your life is freedom. So that's why I'm using the word enslave, and that's what drugs will do to you, because you will only use the drugs for that, and that's not how you should use it. You should really get high on your own energy supply. I think that works best for you. I'm absolutely certain that works best for you. And if you are at this point doing a lot of drugs, you can also get rid of it. So you can get enslaved by it, but you can also learn how to stop doing it. What works well for you is cross-training, moving to music or dancing, martial arts, and hiking. They are all excellent for you. Yeah, for you it's, and I think you might already know this, but I'm just gonna say it out loud. You need to do, if you want to do exercises, and it is good for you to exercise regularly, and also have a low-fat diet, a balanced low-fat diet. But you need a lot of exercises that include variation and that are fun and exciting and efficient to do. You thrive on, and I think football would be a really good sport for you, or any other ball sport you play in a team, because you have the cooperation of the two, so that's nice. You have to express yourself on the field, and you have a lot of variety and a lot of types of exercises you usually do while playing football or any other ball related team sport. So I think that would be really good for you. But all the others I said, they are really well as well. Yeah, here's a big one for you. This one is on relationships, and it feels kind of weird to talk about this because a friend of mine was going through this. You can either go from relationship to relationship, but you can also get in a relationship and feel like you've lost all your freedom. It's like you're chained to your relationship. And this is something where you can blame the other, but this is not on the other at all. This is something that is on you. You have to create this relationship in the way that you want and that works for you. And for you, it has to be exciting. And it can be with kids. Because if you are working your 5 in the positive and in the best way, you can have kids and also pull them with you and grab them and go on those adventures. And it can be, well, I think you might be one of the best moms or dads for those kids, because they always have a lot of adventures with you. But on the other side, so you do have a lot of responsibilities, and responsibilities are not the thing you are most, that you're the best at. What you are the best at is going all over the place and finding adventures and finding things to do and finding those parties that nobody knew were there. And you are really good at being somewhere, and in no time, let's say you move to a new city and a friend of yours already lived in that city for 10 years. Within a month and at most a year, within a year, you have more friends in that city than that friend of yours does. If he or she is not also a 3-5. Otherwise, they would have that as well. But you are the type that thrives on this. All right. So within your relationship, it's really, you really need your independence, and you should create that within your relationship. And this is something that you can discuss and that you can express through your type 3. And because of the 2, you can also go into resentment here. And that's something you should, communication is key for you in relationships. And I think for everybody, communication is key. But for you especially, because you have the sensitivity part of the 3, and that needs to be discussed. Obviously the balance of the 2, but also about again, protecting your freedom even though you're in a relationship. And I think if you can communicate this, what your needs and wants, then this should work itself out if you have the correct partner that is open to these things. So, in the area of sexuality, you can be very shy, insecure, or sensual, adventurous, and passionate. And if you are working your numbers correctly in your sexual life, then it will be the latter few. That will be what your sex life will be like. One thing you could try, but probably you have already tried this, if you're sexually active. I don't know what age you are, but playing with like I said before, you like also the fantasies. You like to watch TV shows that have adventure in it, or movies. So in this case, you can create this as an adventure, your fantasy, and play different roles. That's something that could really work for you, to have some nice outfits. Okay, so let's see how you can make money as a 3-5 and a 2-3-5. You have so much potential for so many things that you can do. Also, that's the freedom part. You will probably do a lot of different professions in your life, just to play around and just to see what works for you. But here are a couple that might work for you. So teaching, writing, acting, doing something with music, politics, leading trainings, court reporting, and sales work that involves travel and working with a variety of people. Oh, that's so funny, because that friend of mine, he actually did this. He used to travel around the world. We were in the same football team, and we would be like, okay, so are you there on Sunday? And he would be, no, I'm running a bit late. I'll be there like 15 minutes late. I don't know what he said, because I have to catch my flight from Dubai. And then the next week, like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. Kind of depends if I have any delay when I get back from Sydney. And every crazy location that I still want to go to, he was there for work. So it is different if you're there for work, but it's fun, and that really works for him. So maybe for you as well. I think the variety of people, that's a really interesting one for you. All right, so yeah, because of your quick wit, because of the 5, you can easily create money when you need it. The one thing that you have to look out for is that you can have the tendency to already sell the hide before you shot it, something like that. So you can kind of spend your money before you actually get the money. So that's something you have to look out for. But on the other hand, you are really good at creating money. If you are working your numbers in the positive, for example, if you're working with in sales, you would be really good at this, and this works for you. You see a lot of people, you get them excited with your excitement, with your adventures. It would be perfect to just you're taking people out to dinner and you try to sell them something. I don't know what, but you figure it out. But you would be really good at that, and you would get them excited, and they would sign it. They would sign the contract on the spot with you. So making money can be really easy for you. And I think, the only thing you have to, it doesn't really matter. Others need to know this, that you will trade your financial security for adventure and for experiences. The finances are not as important to you as the adventures. So if let's say you have a partner and he or she really needs that foundation, let's say that he or she is a type 4, that might be a little bit difficult because you are like really free, and the other can really need that you don't do this. So if you are working negative to each other, it doesn't work. But if you work like in the positive, you really complete each other, because the 4 can give you the boundaries that you need. So it can create the playing field where you can happily play and get all that freedom out within those boundaries. So if you can find someone like that, this could actually work really well for you. But with each type, you can figure out what does work and what doesn't work. All right, so let's finish this video by going over some things that might help you. Yeah, we already discussed all of this. Let's go to the questions. I'll read out these questions one time each, the 4 questions. Write them down and answer them after this video. And then with each of these questions, if there's anything that comes out of this that you can put into practice, put it into practice. All right, so here are the questions. When I feel limited or restricted, who can set me free? Have I found a balance between dependence and independence? What is my present level of discipline and focus? Do I directly express what I really feel and need? Now that we've done all this, I already told you to watch video 2 and 3 and 5 if you haven't yet. And besides that, here's a list of 5 other videos that will help you overcome some challenges. There will be shorter videos, but I have not created them yet. So please subscribe and hit that notification bell. So once these videos get out, you will also see them. So the first one is the law of discipline. This one is for your type 5. Then we have the law of balance, and balance is of the type 2. The law of responsibility, and I would say this is a type 5 one as well. The law of honesty, this one is a type 3 for honest expression. And the law of action, and it actually says here that you should do this. I think this is more if you're working this in your negative, if you're not taking a lot of action, because your type naturally takes a lot of action. So if you don't, I recommend you watch that one as well. I haven't created it yet, so maybe it's for everyone that watches this. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video up until this point. Much love, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.